everyone. Welcome back to Daily English with Hope, a place where you can relax, listen, and improve your English naturally through real conversations. I'm Hope.
And I'm Adam.
Adam, I did something last night that was completely unnecessary. I replayed a very short conversation in my head for almost an hour.
Only an hour? I have replayed conversations from 3 years ago. My brain suddenly says, let's review that awkward moment again.
Exactly. The conversation was normal, but afterward I started wondering, did I sound unfriendly? Should I have explained more? Did they misunderstand me?
And the difficult part is that thinking feels productive. It feels like you are solving something, even when there is no real problem to solve.
That is such an important point. Overthinking is not the same as careful thinking. Careful thinking helps you make a decision. Overthinking keeps you circling the same question.
So how can we notice the difference? Because when I get caught in that cycle, I feel like I need to think about every small detail.
The first step is simply to name what is happening. Say, I'm overthinking this.
That sounds simple, but it helps you step back from the problem. Instead of saying, this situation is terrible, you recognize, my mind is making this situation feel bigger.
Right. Imagine you send a message to a friend and they do not reply for 2 hours. Your mind may create 10 different explanations.
Maybe they are angry. Maybe my message sounded strange. Maybe they do not want to talk to me anymore. Meanwhile, they may simply be busy.
Exactly. Naming the habit will not remove every worry, but it reminds you that your thoughts are not always facts.
That brings us to the second step. We need to separate what we know is true from what we are only imagining.
Yes. Ask yourself, what can I control? You cannot control another person's immediate reaction, but you can control your next useful action.
For example, I cannot control whether everyone thinks my English sounds perfect. I can control whether I speak clearly, listen carefully, and correct myself when necessary.
That is a much healthier focus. Overthinking often grows when we spend our energy trying to control other people's opinions, future events, or every possible result.
I sometimes do that before speaking in a group. I prepare one sentence, then imagine 5 ways it could go wrong, and finally, say nothing.
Many learners experience that. But staying silent does not protect your confidence. It can make speaking feel even more difficult the next time, even when the situation is safe.
So instead of asking, how can I make sure nothing goes wrong, I can ask, what useful thing can I do right now?
Exactly. Maybe the useful action is asking one question, sending one clear message, or saying one sentence without editing it 10 times.
But what about decisions? I can spend forever choosing between 2 options that are both completely fine.
Then you need the third tool, a time limit. Say, I'll give myself 5 minutes.
I like that because it gives thinking a boundary. You are not refusing to think. You are deciding how much time you should spend on the decision.
Exactly. Important decisions may need days or weeks, but choosing a restaurant, writing a short reply, or selecting a shirt probably does not need an hour.
Yesterday, I spent 20 minutes choosing a movie, and then I was too tired to watch one. A 5-minute limit would have saved the evening.
That is a perfect example. Overthinking may feel like it will help you make a better choice, but sometimes it only wastes your time.
After the time limit ends, we still have to choose. That is usually where perfectionism appears.
Yes, and that brings us to the fourth phrase. This is good enough.
Some people hear good enough and think it means careless or low quality. But here, it means the choice meets the real purpose.
Exactly. A short thank you message does not need to sound like a speech. It needs to be warm, clear, and respectful. When it does that, it is good enough.
And an English sentence does not need to be advanced to be effective. Could you explain that again? It's simple, but it communicates exactly what you need.
This is especially important for learners. Sometimes you search for the most impressive word and forget that a familiar, accurate word will keep the conversation moving.
I have done that. I pause because I want the perfect expression, while the person listening is simply waiting for the main idea.
Clarity is usually more valuable than complexity. You can always improve a sentence later, but first you need to give yourself permission to communicate.
So we have named the habit, focused on control, set a time limit, and accepted a good enough choice. What is the final step?
Take one small action. Say, I'll take it one step at a time.
That phrase is calming because it helps us focus on the next step instead of worrying about the whole future.
Exactly. Imagine you want to improve your speaking. Overthinking says, what if I never become fluent? What if people judge my accent? What if I forget everything?
One-step thinking says, today I will speak for 5 minutes. Tomorrow I will listen and repeat one short conversation.
Small actions give you real information. After you act, you can learn from what actually happened instead of worrying about everything that might happen.
Let's apply all 5 tools to a real situation. Suppose I need to send a voice message in English, but I keep recording and deleting it.
First, say, I'm overthinking this. That helps you recognize the cycle instead of automatically continuing it.
Second, what can I control? I can speak slowly, keep the message short, and listen once before sending it.
Third, I'll give myself 5 minutes. You can record it a few times, but you are not allowed to spend the whole evening on it.
Fourth, this is good enough. The message is understandable and polite. It does not need to sound like a professional recording.
And fifth, I'll take it one step at a time. Send this message first. The next one will probably feel easier.
That process feels realistic. It does not tell me to become fearless. It gives me a way to move even when I still feel uncertain.
Exactly. Confidence does not always come before action. Very often, confidence grows after you act, get through the uncomfortable moment, and realize you can handle it.
And sometimes the thing we feared does happen. We make a grammar mistake, choose the wrong word, or send a message that could have been clearer.
That is true. The goal is not to guarantee a perfect result. The goal is to trust yourself enough to respond, adjust, and continue.
So, making a mistake does not mean we should have spent more time overthinking. A mistake can give us useful information for next time.
Beautifully said. Before we finish, let's give everyone a small challenge. Think of one thing you have been delaying because you want to do it perfectly.
Maybe it is sending a message, joining a conversation, starting an application, making a phone call, or practicing English with another person.
Choose one of today's phrases and say it aloud. Then take one small action within the next 10 minutes.
Not the whole project, not every future step, just one useful action that moves you forward.
Today's 5 tools were: I'm overthinking this. What can I control? I'll give myself 5 minutes. This is good enough. And I'll take it one step at a time.
At the end of the day, progress does not require perfect certainty. It only requires a sensible choice and the courage to start.
Write one of the 5 phrases in the comments and use it in your own sentence. That small practice can help the phrase become part of your real English. And that feels like a good place to leave it for today.
If this conversation helped you, feel free to share it with someone who's learning English too.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.